Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you found yourself searching for the right word in the middle of a sentence, something you used to recall without effort. At first, it's easy to brush off, just a senior moment, we tell ourselves with a smile. But when those moments start piling up, the smile fades, and a quiet fear begins to grow. What if I'm losing my memory? What if I'm slowly becoming someone I don't recognize? For many seniors, memory loss doesn't begin with dramatic changes. It begins subtly, like a light dimming ever so slowly. A little forgetfulness here, a missed appointment there. And with it comes a nagging question. Is this normal aging, or something worse? Here's the shocking truth. Many of the habits we rely on daily, our routines, our comforts, our coping strategies, may be quietly damaging our brain. Not because we're doing something bad, but because we simply don't know how these small choices affect the aging brain. It's not just about what you eat. It's how you live. And in today's video, we're going to uncover the 5 daily habits that are silently harming your brain and memory. Some of them will surprise you. More importantly, you'll learn exactly how these habits affect the brain, and what simple, science-backed steps you can take to protect your mind and stay mentally sharp well into your later years. This isn't about fear. It's about power. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what's draining your mental energy, you'll be equipped to do something about it. Because it's never too late to support your brain, sharpen your memory, and take back control of your future. If you've been feeling concerned about your memory, or maybe just a little more forgetful than usual, let me first say this. You're not alone, and you're not imagining it. These small changes in your daily thinking, your focus, your recall, your clarity, can feel unsettling. But they don't have to be permanent. Understanding what's happening is the first step to taking back control. And that's exactly what we're going to do together in this video. Break down the daily habits that could be quietly chipping away at your cognitive health, and replace them with simple, brain-protecting changes. But before we uncover these truths, I need to know you're with me. If you are serious about staying mentally sharp, independent, and empowered in your golden years, then take a moment to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And tell me in the comments, what's the one thing about brain health that worries you most? Is it memory loss? Focus? Mental fog? Your voice matters here, and your question just might help someone else too. Now let's get into the first daily habit that could be silently damaging your brain and memory. Daily habit number 1. Chronic multitasking. Let's start with a habit that many of us were actually praised for in our younger years. Multitasking. Doing 2, 3, even 4 things at once. Cooking dinner while watching the news, checking email, and talking on the phone. It feels productive, efficient, necessary, even. But for the aging brain, multitasking is not just unhelpful, it's harmful. Here's what's happening inside your brain when you multitask. Instead of doing multiple things at the same time, your brain is rapidly switching back and forth between tasks. And each time it switches, it burns mental energy and releases stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, this mental juggling wears down your brain's processing speed, increases fatigue, and impairs memory formation. For seniors, whose brains are already working harder to maintain focus and recall, this becomes especially dangerous. Studies show that older adults who multitask frequently score lower on memory tests and have more difficulty concentrating, even when they're trying to focus on a single task later. Imagine this. You're watching your favorite afternoon program while scrolling through your phone. At the same time, you're trying to remember whether you took your medication. Later, you find yourself staring at the pill bottle, unsure. You second-guess yourself. You feel frustrated. You ask, why can't I remember something so simple? It's not a personal failing. It's mental overload. Multitasking fragments your attention, and when your attention is fragmented, your brain can't effectively encode information into memory. It's like trying to build a house with no blueprint. Things get lost, misplaced, or built on shaky ground. So what can you do instead? The answer is refreshingly simple. Monotask. Monotasking means giving your full attention to one thing at a time. whether it's drinking your morning tea, reading the newspaper, going for a walk, or chatting with a friend. This doesn't make you slower. It makes you sharper. When your brain can focus on one thing, it processes it more deeply and stores it more reliably. You can support this habit with easy routines. Turn off the TV when you're reading or writing. Set your phone down during meals. Create focus zones throughout your day where you give one task your full, undivided attention. And here's the beautiful thing. You may start to notice more than just improved memory. Your stress levels may drop. You may feel more present, more engaged, more connected to the people and activities that truly matter. Imagine how empowering it will feel to go through your day with clarity instead of chaos. No more mental fog. No more forgetfulness spirals. Just a calm, confident sense of awareness and control. Now that we've tackled the brain drain caused by multitasking, let's turn to another common habit. One that may feel completely harmless, but over time, quietly chips away at memory and cognitive function, especially when it becomes part of your nightly routine. Daily habit number 2. Poor sleep patterns. You might chalk it up to just getting older, waking up at 3 a.m. and not being able to fall back asleep, drifting off during the day and waking groggy, tossing and turning night after night. But what many seniors don't realize is just how profoundly sleep affects brain health. In fact, consistently poor sleep is one of the most damaging habits for memory, attention, and long-term cognitive function. Here's why. During deep sleep, specifically, what scientists call slow-wave sleep, your brain does some of its most important maintenance work. Think of it like a nighttime cleaning crew. While you rest, your brain clears out toxins, processes the day's experiences, and strengthens memory connections. If your sleep is shallow or fragmented, this vital cleanup process gets interrupted, leaving behind neurological clutter that can slow down your thinking and cloud your memory. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation increases your risk for conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. And it's not just about total hours. It's about quality. Even if you're in bed for 8 hours, frequent waking, loud snoring, or restless tossing can prevent your brain from reaching those deep, restorative stages. Imagine this scenario. You're reading before bed, nod off, then wake up 3 hours later. You try everything. Tea, changing position, watching TV, until finally falling asleep again near dawn. The next morning, your mind feels like it's moving through molasses. You forget the grocery list. You reread the same paragraph 3 times. You're not just tired. You feel disconnected, a little foggy, like your brain is running a few steps behind. That's not just sleepiness. That's your brain struggling to recover from a broken night. So how do you protect your sleep and your memory? Start by honoring your body's natural rhythms. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your internal clock and makes it easier to fall into a deep sleep. Next, create a wind-down routine. Your brain can't flip off like a light switch. About an hour before bed, dim the lights, turn off screens, and do something calming, like listening to music, reading, or stretching. Avoid stimulants like caffeine or heavy meals late in the evening, and limit alcohol, which can interrupt your deep sleep cycles even if it helps you fall asleep initially. And here's something many seniors overlook. Talk to your doctor about sleep apnea. If you snore loudly, wake up gasping, or still feel tired after a full night's sleep, it may be a sign that your breathing is interrupted during the night, a condition that directly damages brain health over time. The good news? It's treatable. You can also use gentle aids to support better sleep. Weighted blankets for calmness, herbal teas like chamomile or valerian root, and even white noise machines to block out disruptions. Just imagine the difference. You wake up refreshed. Your thoughts come easily. Your mood is lighter. Conversations flow without frustration. A good night's sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's about keeping your brain sharp, vibrant, and fully alive. When you improve your sleep, you give your brain the gift of restoration. And that's a gift that pays off every single day. Next, let's turn to a brain-damaging habit that's become increasingly common, especially in today's technology-driven world. You might not think much of it, but this one can shrink your mental stamina and emotional well-being before you even realize it's happening. Daily habit number 3. Social isolation. Let's talk about something that doesn't always show up on a doctor's chart, but can be just as harmful as high blood pressure or poor diet: loneliness. As we get older, it's not uncommon to spend more time alone. Maybe friends have moved away. Maybe your children are busy with their own lives. Maybe you've lost a spouse, or physical limitations have made socializing more difficult. Whatever the reason, many seniors begin to withdraw. Days become quieter, conversations fewer. And while that may seem harmless, maybe even peaceful, it can be quietly devastating for the brain. Social isolation has been directly linked to accelerated cognitive decline. And here's why. Human connection stimulates the brain. When you engage in conversation, listen to someone's story, or even just laugh together, your brain lights up. It forms new neural connections, strengthens memory pathways, and releases chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin that protect mood and cognitive function. When those interactions stop, the brain gets less stimulation. It's like a muscle not being used. It starts to weaken. Seniors who experience regular loneliness are more likely to suffer from memory loss, depression, and even dementia. Picture this. You wake up, make your coffee, and turn on the TV. You might not speak to another person all day. The silence becomes normal. You start to feel foggy, disconnected, even a little sad, but you can't quite put your finger on why. And the longer the isolation goes on, the more overwhelming it feels to try and reach out. The tragedy is that isolation often feeds itself. The more time you spend alone, the harder it feels to re-engage. You start to think, who would I even call? Or, I don't want to be a bother. But let me tell you something important. You are not a bother. You are a human being with a mind and spirit that needs connection, just as much as food or sleep. So what can you do? Start small. Call someone once a day. Even a 5-minute phone call with a friend, sibling, or neighbor can create a ripple of mental stimulation that protects your memory. Join a local group, even if it's virtual. Many community centers offer free online classes, book clubs, or faith-based discussion groups. You can participate from your living room and still give your brain the conversation and connection it craves. If mobility is a challenge, try volunteering your time by phone, reading to a child over Zoom, calling other isolated seniors, or participating in a prayer chain or support line. Service connects you to purpose, which is a powerful protector of brain health. And don't underestimate the impact of face-to-face interaction, even if it's brief. A walk with a neighbor, a chat with the cashier, smiling and making eye contact. These moments matter. They wake up the brain and remind you, you're not invisible. You're alive. You're still part of the world. If you're someone who's been quietly slipping into isolation, let this be your gentle wake-up call. Your brain and your heart need connection to stay strong. Don't wait until your memory feels fuzzy or your mood starts to sink. Take one small step today, because every time you connect, you are literally building cognitive resilience. Now that we've uncovered the power of connection, let's take a look at another habit that might seem productive or harmless, but in reality can leave your brain overstimulated, scattered, and drained. Daily habit number 4. Constant information overload. We live in a world that never stops talking. News alerts, social media updates, texts, emails, advertisements, television, all flooding your senses from the moment you wake up to the moment you try to fall asleep. For many seniors, staying informed and connected is important. But here's the hard truth. Your brain was not designed to absorb this much input at once. This modern habit, what researchers now call information overload, is like trying to drink from a fire hose. And the aging brain, which already works harder to process, store, and recall information, begins to struggle even more under the pressure. Here's what's happening. Every new piece of information, whether it's breaking news or a random video, demands your brain's attention. To manage it all, your brain starts filtering. It becomes reactive instead of reflective. Memory storage weakens, focus becomes fractured, and decision-making gets harder. Over time, this mental noise creates a constant state of low-grade stress, which silently chips away at your brain's clarity and health. Imagine this. You start your morning scrolling through your phone. A news headline grabs your attention. Then a text message pops up. You switch over to check your email. Before you've had your coffee, your brain is already juggling 12 different things, and not one of them has truly landed. Later in the day, you try to focus on a task, maybe writing a birthday card or reading a book, but your mind drifts. You feel distracted, unsettled. Your thoughts are skipping like a stone over water, never quite settling into anything solid. That's the toll of information overload. The danger is that it feels normal. You don't even realize how much it's draining your brain. But there's hope, and it starts with creating mental breathing room. Start by choosing windows of intentional input. Instead of grazing all day on news and media, pick 2 or 3 set times, maybe after breakfast and after dinner, to check in. Outside of those windows, give your brain a rest. Create tech-free zones in your day. No screens during meals. No phone scrolling in bed. Give your mind quiet moments to settle and recover. These aren't just good habits, they're brain medicine. And here's a powerful exercise. Each day, choose to focus deeply on one thing. Read a chapter of a book without interruption. Watch a documentary all the way through. Listen to a full piece of music with your eyes closed. These moments of single-stream attention help rebuild your brain's ability to concentrate and retain information. You can also practice what neurologists call digital fasting, setting aside one full day or evening each week without screens, where you return to slower, quieter rhythms. Take a walk. Journal. Garden. Reflect. Let your mind breathe again. The result? You may feel calmer, more focused. Your thoughts begin to organize themselves instead of bouncing chaotically. You may notice that you remember things more easily. Conversations, appointments, even small details. That's your brain healing from overload. In today's noisy world, silence isn't just peaceful, it's powerful. Your brain needs that quiet space to recharge, reconnect, and rewire itself. Now that we've explored how constant mental clutter can erode memory, let's uncover the final, and perhaps most overlooked, daily habit that affects brain function. It's something physical, but its impact on your thinking and memory might surprise you. Daily habit number 5. A sedentary lifestyle. You've probably heard that sitting too much isn't great for your heart, your joints, or your waistline. But what often gets overlooked is how significantly a sedentary lifestyle affects your brain. That's right. Too much sitting and too little movement can quietly drain your mental sharpness, slow your thinking, and even impair your memory. The science is straightforward. Your brain relies on healthy blood flow to stay nourished, alert, and functioning at its best. When you move your body, whether through walking, stretching, or even just standing up regularly, you boost circulation, bringing more oxygen and nutrients to the brain. This movement doesn't just energize your muscles, it lights up your mind. It supports the growth of new neural connections and helps clear away waste products that can otherwise build up and interfere with how your brain functions. But when your days are mostly spent sitting, whether it's watching TV, reading, or even doing puzzles, your brain doesn't get the stimulation it needs. Studies have shown that too much inactivity is linked to shrinkage in key areas of the brain responsible for memory and learning, including the hippocampus. Picture this. It's a quiet afternoon. You've spent the day reading, watching a bit of TV, maybe resting in your favorite chair. Everything feels calm. But by evening, you start to notice something. You feel a bit sluggish. You can't remember where you left your glasses. You reread the same sentence a few times and still can't seem to absorb it. It's not fatigue, it's your brain signaling that it needs to move. The encouraging news is that it doesn't take a gym membership or strenuous exercise to reverse this. Even small movements throughout the day can make a meaningful difference. Try standing up and walking to another room every half hour. Open a window, take a few deep breaths, and move your arms gently. These little actions help wake up your circulation and bring fresh energy to your thinking. A short walk outside, just around the block, can be incredibly refreshing. The movement gets your heart pumping and your brain buzzing. And if that walk happens to include sunlight and a bit of nature, even better. Sunlight helps regulate your sleep rhythms and improves mood, while nature itself has a calming effect on the nervous system. Gentle activities like stretching, gardening, or even dancing to your favorite music in the kitchen can also reawaken your mind. These aren't just physical tasks. They engage your senses, your coordination, and your memory. And if you can combine movement with conversation, like walking with a neighbor or chatting while you tidy up, you get the added benefit of social connection, which, as we've seen, also supports cognitive health. You might be surprised at how quickly these changes add up. As you move more, you may find your energy improving. Your mind feels clearer. You're less distracted, more engaged, more in control. You're not just going through the motions of the day, you're actively participating in it. The truth is, our bodies were made to move, and our brains were made to follow that rhythm. When we sit still for too long, everything slows down, our mood, our thoughts, our recall. But when we add even a little bit of motion into the day, we spark something vital. We tell our brains, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still growing. And isn't that what this journey is really about? Staying sharp, staying independent, and staying deeply connected to the world around us. Now, let's bring everything we've explored into focus. It's time to tie it all together, and see how each of these small, daily habits either chips away at your memory or builds it back up stronger than ever. If there's one thing I hope you've taken away from this journey, it's this: cognitive decline is not an unavoidable part of aging. Yes, the brain changes over time. Yes, we may move a little slower or take a bit longer to recall a name or find the right word. But forgetfulness, fogginess, and mental fatigue don't have to define this season of your life. We've uncovered 5 daily habits that may seem harmless on the surface: multitasking, poor sleep, social isolation, information overload, and a sedentary lifestyle. But in reality, each one chips away at the clarity, energy, and strength of your mind. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you weren't told how these choices quietly affect your brain. But now you know. And knowledge is power. Each of these habits, when left unexamined, can leave you feeling scattered, forgetful, or disconnected. But when you begin to shift them, when you simplify your focus, prioritize sleep, reach out to others, quiet the noise, and move your body, you activate something extraordinary. You give your brain a chance to breathe, to repair, to grow, no matter your age. This isn't about making huge, overwhelming changes. It's about small, consistent shifts. Turning off the TV for 30 minutes to read in silence. Picking up the phone to call a friend. Taking a short walk after lunch. Letting your mind rest. Letting your heart connect. Letting your body move. These aren't just routines. They're reminders that you still have agency. That your brain still responds to care, to challenge, to love. You are not at the mercy of memory loss. You are not destined to fade. You are capable of clarity. You are built for resilience. And it's never too late to protect the most precious thing you have, your mind. So as you step into the rest of your day, do so with confidence, with curiosity, with compassion for yourself. Your brain is listening, and it's ready to thrive. I truly hope this video has been eye-opening and encouraging for you. If even one idea here sparked a shift in how you think about your daily habits, take a moment to click that like button. It lets YouTube know this information matters, and it helps us reach more seniors who are looking for the same support and guidance you found here today. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another deep dive into how to protect your health, your memory, and your independence. We're building a community that's not just about growing older, but growing wiser, stronger, and more connected than ever. And if you're curious about the foods that fuel your brain, or the ones that secretly harm it, be sure to stay tuned. That's coming up next. Until then, stay strong, stay sharp, and remember, your best days can still be ahead of you.